the other day. I think it was Thursday that we or Friday that we kind of dipped down here. You start to see if we start to hold over those levels. If we break under, we may actually get a little bit more downside. But we haven't had any volatility in this market. We're in a low volatility environment as of the moment. So we're gonna see if we can kind of hit this dip. But if it gets nasty, then we'll just whip out the TVIX and stuff. But in the meantime, there's more than enough stocks at play. IPOs are still the flavor. We've been pounding them for over a month, and it's like, if you're really trading anything else, you're not having any fun. So, right, don't be stubborn. Trade what you see. Trade where the momentum is. The JMIA was up 12% yesterday. These are the type of kind of stocks that can help really grow your account. When you see stuff like that, when you can get day trade opportunities where you're making kind of 2-3 points, you can really kind of get some meat in some things. So keep a list of these things in. I got JMIA, TW, which is coming out of kind of this little flag pattern. It's a little bit sloppy because it just lacks liquidity. Even though it does 1 million shares a day in volume, when they're e-liquid and they do less than kind of 4 or 5, what you'll see is you kind of get wicked out at your EMAs and things like that quite a bit more. So that's why I tend to like to trade stuff that's a lot more liquid, but in general, this will be enough. Boom, 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 and then add this lift in. It finally closed over the 9 EMA yesterday. It's opening down weak right now because the market itself is gapping down. But that's a good thing. So watch this one for a red to green or something like that. You may see this thing just start to just really hold well at support, and if it does, then I think this one's going to have some sick range to it. You can see yesterday, the range, even though it's a thicker stock, right, it does a lot more volume. It's a thicker stock. The range now is from 56 to 60, so you definitely got the juice on it. And then it was pretty much a 20 EMA rider for the whole day, which is a little bit more rare. You don't see that too often. So I definitely like this one. On the gapper side, let's kind of rank these a little bit, but get rid of this Momo, which was a slut yesterday. On the upside, NXPI. This one's kind of coming out of this range over here. I'm not sure how fast this one's going to be. It's been quite some time since I even looked at this ticker. It's gapping up right now. It is coming out of this flag pattern. You may have a little bit of juice in this thing. It's just got to get going. I think that one's okay. Wage probably will move nicer because its float's only 40 million, and the float, the market cap's $2 billion on it. And you are coming out of this nice kind of base breakout kind of zone, which I think is good. And you've got a gap fill over here, so you got some suction coming in. My worry on this one is that it's faded off quite a bit pre-market, $5 so far. I hate when they do that, when they start fading off that hard pre-market. You end up with just a huge. You can end up with all sorts of shenanigans happening. So that's kind of something I'm a little bit mindful of on this one. I want these things to really start to trend pre-market, or at least hold near low, hold near the spots. If you remember, XLNX, the reason it got dusted that first candle was that not only did it kind of do an ORB on its 1 minute chart, but it also broke the pre-market lows and then took off. And so when you kind of combine those, you can get a little bit more action on them. So, that's the one issue with something like this. I don't like when they start to fade back $5 because then there's an internal amount of resistance here from this. Now, the one thing is with this one, it has only, it hasn't done a crazy amount of volume, but still you got 300,000 shares in volume. So there is a level of supply up here. If it had dropped down $3-4, but say there was 50,000 in supply over here, I would probably take it with a grain of salt because you can soak up 50,000 in supply in 30 seconds, right? I mean, that's a handful of buyers, so that's not a big deal. 300,000 in supply, if it's coming in from over here, could be, a little bit more. I mean, it may be a little bit more hard to snuff out. This CRTO looks pretty good. You've got yourself kind of a bear flag over here coming down. It's also breaking down under, these lows pretty close. So I think that one could have a chance. And then PRGO. Now this one has like always been a turn to trade. We've tried to trade this thing a few times. There was one awesome day though that where this thing got shredded. You can see like when the candle's like that, where it's like just a full. There's not even any wicks. What it's meaning is that from where it opened to close, it trended down all day pretty much, right? It closed at its lows and then it opened at its highs. So I think that's actually pretty cool. So we do know that this thing can. It can give us what we need. So I keep an eye on this one. The liquidity on this should be okay at 118 million share float. Frankly, on shorts, on longs, you like a little bit lower float. But on shorts, you're almost better off sometimes in that like 100 million to 200 million range float because you get way better liquidity. Because when you're shorting, like the bottom drops off sometimes. And the ones with like 100 million shares, they have more liquidity. But also, when they have it like that, when they have more liquidity, they'll, it's going to drop the way it's going to drop. So like you won't have a spread to deal with. And then Texas Roadhouse, I really, this one looks like it's got a chance to drop. Like this thing may take off even right at the open. 69 million share float, $5 billion company. Man, it's just such a cool name. I would hate to really short this thing like Texas Roadhouse. It makes you think of Patrick Swayze, doesn't it? Man, now that was a man's man right there. Right, so this thing is, I think, got a chance to. If you're looking at it, it's like more weekly, longer term chart. You can see here, like it's gonna get dust some levels. It's gonna dust some levels if it gets like under 55. So I think that one's gonna be cool too. Hey Blairski, what's up? Oh, Wage got bought out? Fuckers. All right, take Wage off the list. So that's my list for now. If Wage is a buyout, then obviously it is a buyout. We'll take that one off the table. Cool. EMES round 2. Man, you really liking this EMES. I would still keep it on your list, buddy. It's starting to curl for the girls. I think Tesla, like if you can get like close to 250, I think that's where you're going to get the short on this thing because it is a really big breakdown over here. Hey, Mr. Gifford, how are you? Marianne, what's up? Coo. MU, let me see, brother. Danny, good to see you. MU looks all right. I'm not sure on the MU, though. Good. Guys, really the IPOs are going to be the flavor for today. The one thing to remember with the IPO plays, if pins gets popped, it may take the rest of them. I don't know if it will. Sometimes they do that. If pins gets popped, because it is like, super extended and you're gapping up today. This could be an exhaustion gap. So when you're on like day 5, day 6, but you get a big gap, that can be the exhaustion gap. So if pins get popped, that may take down I don't know if it's going to take down the whole IPO market or not. Sometimes, sometimes when the main one gets thrusted down, then the rest of them drop. You can see, like, obviously this one did 25 million shares of volume yesterday, so it tends to have, like, a lot of the flow right now in terms of the cash flow. So if this gets popped today, then watch the rest of them. They all may drop a little bit, but if it starts to, because it's a rubber band short at this point, but if it starts to drop and the rest of them hold up, sometimes you could play like a hot potato where the money flows out of one and then goes into the other one. So if that's the case, then, if it could be a good thing that this one drops. So that's something we'll have to just kind of be mindful of. I'm not exactly sure which ways it goes. We just have to be mindful of it. Texas Roadhouse. Oh yeah, put DVD on the list too. I really like that one. That little turd was $2, and now it's kind of come all the way back. So I think those are going to be some good plays. Let's go do what we got to do, people. I'll see everybody tomorrow.